thanks for making the time to do this. I just wanted to thank you. I know that you're busy. I used to fly out there to connect with you, and we're left in this world where we're doing these video conferences. And I tell you, being in the video business has helped me a lot understand where my life is going to pivot after this. I'm still figuring it out, but I wanted to first connect with you and see, how are you doing? How's your family, number one? Yeah.
Family's good. We're doing well. Everything's fine. We're managing through this. It's very frustrating, I know, for a lot of other people who are in my periphery.
Yeah.
We weren't able to do the Draper University spring session, and because we try to bring people together, we're going to hopefully get one in the summer. We're working on an online school. We think that's done June, and it looks like it's going to be great, but it's not quite the same as being there. I'm hoping that this is starting to look like a huge policy mistake to lock us all down, and I'm hoping they come to their senses very quickly and get us back in the air, in the hotels, in the restaurants. And get us back to work. 26 million people in the U.S. unemployed. 26 million. I mean, that's Great Depression, and getting them back to work is going to take time. And just flooding the place with money is just going to make the money worth less. So my Bitcoin's going to do well in this environment because it's not as dilutive as the political money. The political money is, that's going to be like funny paper.
What is your advice to people who have Bitcoin right now and they're holding on to that? What would you
buy more?
Buy more.
I am. I never give advice out to the rest of the world. Yeah. Instead, I just tell them what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm buying more. I'm just looking and I'm saying, well, wait, where are you going to put it? Stock market's going crazy at an all-time high when the earnings reports are going to be a disaster.
Wow.
Horrible earnings reports. What are they thinking, except for a few, Zoom and Amazon and a few others. But the rest of them, I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be a long way to come back from this.
What is your do you have messages for any startups right now that are kind of like feeling that? Can you tell us? Yeah.
Interesting. The startups in my portfolio have bifurcated. Some have been just crushed by this, and some, the ones that are like, Bitcoin wallets are going crazy.
Yeah.
VR is going crazy. So those are doing very well. But the ones that are like the future of transportation that require a lot of capital, those are going to have some trouble raising money. I mean, still, although they may be able to, if we still keep this 6 feet thing, it may be that you want jetpack aviation or gravity on your back.
That's right.
Fly somewhere.
That's right.
I think if you're a startup right now, you should be focused on your customer. Venture capitalists will not be around as much as they were before. They are shoring up their existing portfolios. They don't have a lot of bandwidth for new companies. I do. Fortunately, we told our companies, raise as much as you can and don't spend it. But they don't have a lot of capacity, and so they're looking just at shoring stuff up. So you've got to get your money from your customer, and it's probably healthier anyway.
Yeah.
And so for somebody who's an entrepreneur who thought, I'll get a Series A and a Series B and a Series C, go to Plan B, where you have to get your money from your customers and you grow organically. And I think that will serve you well over the next 3 or 4 years.
What are, surprisingly, a lot of people have been, I've been kind of entrepreneurial, as I always have been. What are the big industries that are going to come out of this and really thrive?
Well, I do think that it's going to take a long time for travel to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time for restaurants to come back. But I do think that that like Zoom took a leap forward, and Amazon took a leap forward, and some of the delivery services took a leap forward in order to from where they were before.
That's right. That's
So
right.
they used to be kind of growing and figuring it out, and now it's like the early adopters were the only ones who were their customers, and now they've crossed the chasm to the masses. And so I think that's going to happen with Bitcoin. I think with that there will be more decentralized activity, because once you've learned Bitcoin, once you know that, you realize that the blockchain creates new opportunities for perfect record, and that smart contracts create something that could make very fair and very simple any kind of a contract, and where money goes. And then you combine that with artificial intelligence and all the deep learning, and you start being able to create new forms of insurance, new ways of looking at real estate, new ways of banking, commerce, government too. Government, we've always been tribal, and governments now, in a decentralized world, governments have to compete with each other. It's kind of interesting. Well, first, Estonia was the first one. They did the e-governance, and that was really valuable, really interesting. And I think you're going to see this all the way along. People will be more attracted to one place over another because they've got lower taxes or better education or better roads or better internet access, or they use cryptocurrency. They use Bitcoin. They encourage more decentralized activity. They encourage more artificial intelligence. Those are the countries that are going to end up being big winners.
Have you talked to some of your CEO friends who are, like I look at Tesla, I'm looking at Facebook. Like, have you talked to some of the leadership there and seen what they're saying about everything right now? Yeah.
When you're the CEO of a public company, you have to be really careful what you say, no matter what. And so the reason I'm more outspoken is because I am not the CEO of a public company.
That's right.
And I have the ability to speak what I believe, and speak straight from the heart. I think all of them want to get people back to work. All of them are thinking, I want to build my business. I want people working. I want my people to be happy. I want them to be connected. They will be better people. They will live better lives. They'll be emotionally better if we can get back to work.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but what are your key learnings out of something like this? What would you, like, if this happens again, what should we be more prepared for, and what have you learned out of this?
Well, I think the shock to the system is not a bad thing. It forces creativity. It forces people to sort of turn over in their heads what's important, what's not, where we want to go from here, what's the next step. It's like we all got a little extra time to sort of figure that out. But so I think that part is kind of an interesting thing that, after it's been a decade plus since the last crisis, the crisis breeds some real creativity. And so I think we're going to all benefit from that creativity long term. Short term, I think, what do I come away with? It's interesting. I come away with thinking I will continue to fund and support entrepreneurs to the day I die, because I'm looking and I'm saying, all those interesting things we did, the using data for healthcare diagnostics, or for therapeutics using computational chemistry. All of a sudden, those things are really important.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's pretty interesting. And then the other thing that's really important is, we backed Bitcoin and all these other virtual currencies, and we're saying, wow, those things are really important, because all of a sudden we got these governments that are just spending willy-nilly, and they're just throwing money out there to try to create an economy that they just destroyed, and try to bring it back. And all it shows is that there's dilution in those currencies. and that if you're holding out a Bitcoin, you're gonna do better because there are only 21 million out there.
Wow. So, I mean, I'll just wrap up with this. I first want to thank you for your time. I've living here in Canada is a little bit different than what's going on in the U.S., but we feel the social pressure of wanting to see others, wanting to interact, me wanting to fly out there and see you. I think
we had a great interview before.
We did. We've had a few. We've actually had a few, and
yeah,
and I thought about you again, and because I learned from people like yourself, and I just want to thank you for your time, and I'd love to continue making sure that we do connect. How's your son? How's the family? How's everybody?
Great. He's
awesome.
Great.
Well,
the family, I'm very proud of them. They're doing great. They're all, 3 out of the 4 are venture capitalists and one's an entrepreneur. So I couldn't have hoped for better.
I just got to thank you from the bottom of my heart as an entrepreneur.
Terrific. Well, Sharad, I love your interviews, so keep doing them. You're doing a great job.